Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out today. What an outstanding card we have this Saturday night. We'll be live on Showtime, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. This is actually one of the best cards I've seen in quite some time from top to bottom. In the main event, we have none other than the longest reigning WBA 154-pound world champion, Erislandy Lara. He'll be taking on none other than the very exciting IBF world champion from Washington, D.C., none other than Jarrett Hurd. In the co-main event, we have the reigning champion who just recently won, coming off a great victory in December, Truax. He'll be taking on, again, in an exciting rematch, DeGale. Again, that's going to be a very exciting bout. And to open up the show card televised event, we have Julian Williams out of Philadelphia. He'll be taking on Nathaniel Gallimore. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is an outstanding card from top to bottom. Some of the best fights that are out there. And again, in one of our top fights on the undercard, we have Sergio Mora. He'll be taking on Alfredo Angulo in a very exciting matchup. Our card is brought to you by Mayweather Promotions and TGB Promotions, and our event is promoted by Corona. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress enough, this is an outstanding card. Tickets are still available, and tickets are priced as low as $50. So without further ado, I would like to bring up none other than Showtime's Senior Executive of Communications, none other than Christy Baggio, to bring up and come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Thanks, Leonard. Showtime Championship Boxing and Showtime, the network itself, we continue to lead the boxing industry overall with delivering the largest slate of live events, the most pivotal matchups, and boxing's deepest divisions. In 2018, we are scheduled to televise 13 world title fights across 11 marquee events just in the first 6 months of the year. And we're not done yet. There'll be announcements about additional bouts in the spring and summer and fall, of course, coming in the near future. Saturday night will be the second of back-to-back Saturdays of live boxing on Showtime. It's the second in a run of 3 out of 4 weeks of live boxing on Showtime, not on pay-per-view. The current lineup of fighters, some of which you see here today, includes 16 undefeated. We have matchups on this run of 8 matchups featuring top 10 ranked fighters against their top 10 ranked opponent. We have 5 matchups of top 5 ranked fighters, including in our main event on Saturday night. We have 4 top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in action. We have 2 world title unification bouts, again, including our main event on Saturday. It's a top-flight boxing season, and it focuses on the pivotal matchups in boxing's most compelling divisions. Main event on Saturday, as we've seen over the last year and a half, the most important fights at 154 pounds are taking place live on Showtime. We've had all the top 5 ranked super welterweight champions and challengers in an unofficial tournament of sorts, all of which is leading to Saturday's unification fight. It's a defining moment for the division. We have a matchup on Saturday of 2 of the top 3 ranked fighters in 154 pounds. Erislandy Lara and Jarrett Hurd. Division, a historical fact here. This will be the 6th unification fight in this division's history. Winners of 4 of the previous 5 unification bouts are already in the Hall of Fame. Terry Norks, Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Winky Wright. Will Lara, Jarrett Hurd, maybe Jermell Charlo, or in the near future, Julian Williams or Nathaniel Gallimore join them? We're going to find out. In our co-feature, Caleb Truax and James DeGale fighting in a rematch. It's one of 5 rematches on our schedule. The consensus 2017 upset of the year. Both fighters in desperate need to prove something on Saturday night. And of course, in our opening bout, Julian Williams is back in action on Showtime. Nathaniel Gallimore joins to try to prove their elite worth in the 154-pound division. Each man looking to see if they can join this deep pool of talented and hard-punching champions to find out who's going to take the top spot. With all that, it's 3 incredible fights, all live on Saturday on Showtime, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. We're excited to be here. And I was remiss in opening, I should say, our president and the man who put all this together in association with Leonard and PBC, Stephen Espinoza, couldn't be here today. He has meetings in Los Angeles. So thank you for the time, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Good luck to all you guys up front.
Thank you, Chris. At this time, I'd like to bring up Jeff Mullen. He's the representative for the Nevada Athletic State Commission to say a few words.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, it's an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to regulate this great championship event. We would like to thank the Hard Rock for hosting the event, Stephen Espinoza, Chris, and Showtime for broadcasting the event. We would like to thank Mr. Ellery and Mayweather Promotions, Tom Brown, and TGB Promotions for promoting the event and bringing these great championship fights to the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Last but not least, I would like to thank these great fighters who are putting it all on the line here this Saturday night. Thank you very much.
In the opening bout on the broadcast, I think this is probably the fight that could potentially steal the show. This is a fight that's kind of was made over social media, if you want to say that. Kind of started out with Nathaniel Gallimore. He's not a guy who's shy of confidence. A lot of back and forth with Julian Williams, and you know, I'm from the old school. Talk don't win fights, action does. So, without further ado, I'd like to bring up Nathaniel Gallimore. He's fighting out of Los Angeles. He's trained by Buddy McGirt, outstanding young fighter. He talks the talk, and he has a tremendous opportunity this Saturday night to prove that he's one of the top fighters in the division. This is an IBF eliminator for the world title. And again, this should be an outstanding fight. So without further ado, I would like to bring up Nathaniel Gallimore.
How y'all doing today? Jamaica, Chicago, Medea. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I want to thank my team, Journeyman Management, my coaching staff, John Pullman, Buddy McGirt, my little brother, Joshua Greer, a.k.a. Don't Blink, Showtime, and all the promoters that had something to do with this fight. You know, Saturday night is Judgment Day. You know, starting with Jay Pebbles right here. You know, it's gonna be a night to remember. You know, it's total domination. I'm focused and I'm ready. Had the best training camp in all my career. You know, we cover all basics. You know, it's nothing undone. You know, and Saturday night I'm gonna show it to the world. You looking at me? Smile, because Saturday night I'm gonna wipe that smile off your face. You think Charlie hit hard? Huh. You gonna see. You know, this opportunity is mine, and this division is mine. You know, all that talking don't mean nothing. It's all about action, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. You was talking today for your birthday. You're gonna get an early birthday gift. You know, you're gonna get an early birthday gift. Stop tripping. I study my opponents. I stalk them. That's what I'm gonna do in the ring. Keep on talking. Keep on running your mouth. You know, you had a big mouth when you was fighting Charlie, and what happened? And you said I got knocked down 4 times. Wow. I think that stuff messed up your head when he chin checked you. I hope you're doing your chin push-ups because I told you what's going to happen. How you like it? On your face, on your back, doing tap dance, or the referee stopping the fight? It's nothing more. I'm not playing with you, boy. I think I'm playing with you talking about you a rock. You ain't no rock. You ain't solid. You pebbles. I eat you. And that's what I'm going to do Saturday night. So I want each and every one of y'all to tune in. Y'all don't want to miss this. Thank y'all.
I told you he wasn't shy of confidence. This should really be a exciting matchup, a great clash of different styles. This next gentleman, outstanding young fighter, true professional, coming to us from the fighting city of Philadelphia. Excellent fighter, coming off of a tremendous, exciting fight in defeating Nisha Smith. A guy who always comes prepared, who's one of the top fighters in the division, and with a win Saturday night, this moves him a step closer to what their goal is, and that's to become world champion. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Julian J-Rock Williams.
How's everybody doing today? First of all, I want to thank Showtime, Al Heyman, my coaches for going through camp with me, Asim Bey and Stephen Edwards. I want to thank Snack. You know, we had a really good camp. You know, I decided not to get into so much of the tongue wrestling this camp. You know, I really come prepared. You know, he's a solid fighter. You know, I don't underestimate any fighter. You know. He seems like he's a pretty good fighter, but to me, he seems like a bully, you know. And he can't bully me, you know what I mean? He's very obsessed with me. He's always on my page, you know. I decided not to block him because I wanted him to see everything so he could stay up at night watching me, you know. So nevertheless, he's a solid fighter. But it's funny because I got a quick story. I was in camp for my last fight, for the fight with Ishe, and his coach John Pullman was in the gym with us, and we were supposed to fight him before we fought Ishe, but we decided to take the Ishe fight because it was a little bit more money. So his coach said, "When you supposed to fight Nate Gallimore?" Like man, that guy's he's nothing but a brawler. You shouldn't have no problem with him. Your own coach said that. Now you some killer because he training you. Your own coach said that, bro. I don't give a shit if he's with Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt left and didn't even train you. He ain't even train you for this fight. He went back home after surgery. At the circuit.
I'm fighting for myself. Remember that.
Cool. But his coaches don't believe in him, you know? So I'm gonna shut this guy up on Saturday night. I looked at his record, you know, he's got a loss to a journeyman. He got a draw with a journeyman. He been knocked down by a journeyman. You know? I'm going to shut this dude up on Saturday night. I don't got nothing else to say. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and support the fight.
In the co-feature, this is, again, another exciting fight. Next gentleman, he's fighting out of Harrelson, England, with a record of 23-2, 14 KOs. A guy who's always willing to fight any and everybody that's out there. You look at his resume with the consecutive guys that he's fought back to back to back. You know, very tough competitor, always in entertaining fights. He had the setback in December in his hometown, and he'll be looking to regain that hardware come Saturday night. He has a tough challenge in front of him. So without further ado, none other than James Chunky DeGale.
Afternoon, everyone. Before I start, can I give thanks to my advisor, Al Heyman, and Showtime. Thank you for having me. My last performance was horrendous, man. Was shocking. Was embarrassing. I'm not going to stand up here and make excuses about my shoulder and what went wrong. But what I will tell you is on Saturday I'll be a 2-time world champion. I promise you that. I promise you. It's a great card. It should be a great night. I'll see you Saturday.
Next gentleman, he's the reigning WBC, I know. He's the reigning IBF super middleweight champion, and he's coming off the outstanding victory. A guy who's, he's fought his way. He's fought his way to the top. He didn't have, he's won some, he's lost some, but he's always been competitive, and he's always came in great shape. And we expect nothing other than that come Saturday night. He had the tough challenge of going in James's backyard, and we all know how that is to win a tough majority decision in December, and he'll be looking to retain his title. Again, this is a great matchup, two contrasting styles. Again, Caleb, he's vowed that he's not giving up the title. He said that James made excuses in the last fight. So again, all these questions will be answered come Saturday night. So without further ado, coming to us from Minnesota, a very proud champion who's representing none other than Caleb Truax.
What's up, everybody? Before I start, I want to say thanks to everybody that's involved with the card. Mayweather Promotions, Tom Brown Promotions, Showtime, the Hard Rock here in Vegas, Al Heyman, my guys, Warriors and Seconds Out, my team, my new sponsor, Wiley Wallaby, Australian-style licorice, and let me get started. I'm honored to be here with these great fighters back on Showtime. I think it's been 5-6 years since I've been on Showtime, so it's great to be back. Training camp went well. This is the longest training camp I've had in my career, the most focused I've been. I don't have too much to say. I just want to get to Saturday night and go ahead with this great card and put in another great performance and retain my belt. And that's about all I have to say.
And that takes us right into the main event. And what a main event this is. This next gentleman, he's fighting out of Washington, D.C. He's the IBF junior middleweight champion of the world. He's coming off a career-defining TKO victory in his first title defense over former world champion Austin Trout. He has a record of 21-0 with 15 KOs. Always with a fan-friendly style, and he's coming to be unified champion. That's his goal. He's very determined to do that. He has a very, very tough challenge in front of him in fighting the WBA champion, Erislandy Lara. So this is going to be a very, very entertaining matchup. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Jarrett Hurd.
How you doing, everybody? First of all, I want to give God all the glory for, bring me up, allow me to be up here today. Thank Mayweather Promotions, Showtime, PBC, and Las Vegas for having me out here, man. It's been a great training camp. We're well prepared. This is the fight that we wanted to ask for, after my win with Tony Harrison, winning the IBF title. Erislandy Lara had a few words on Twitter he wanted to share, and this is a fight I've been looking for. I don't know if it was either him or his team. One day we get this kid Jarrett a payday to move out of his parents' house. Bitch number one. typical DC clown, you know. And somebody got to pay for all that, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to fight this guy, Erislandy Lara. You know, I'm willing to step up to the table because I know what I can do, you know. He, you know, just bought himself a nice house. You know, he's living an American dream, but my dream has just begun. And come Saturday night, I'm going to let you know why everybody can withstand these 12 rounds with a swift Jarrett Hurd. I know you've seen everybody. You got experienced 300 fights. You've been in the ring with a couple people, but you ain't never experienced what it's like to be in the ring with someone like me. And it's a storm coming, baby. So without further ado, another thing for the media and everyone out there, it's Swift Jarrett Hurd, not Jarrett Swift Hurd for the people in school. It's cool. You know, I just wanted to be out there with you know, or you can call me AKA Mr. Get That Bag, yeah.
That's it. Next up, he's the longest reigning champion at 154 pounds. He comes to us with a tremendous amount of experience. He's been in there with the top fighters in the division, and he's had a tremendous amount of success. Everyone knows he's an extremely skilled boxer. He comes from the Cuban School of Boxing. What a terrific fighter. Again, this is going to be a very exciting matchup. We know that Jarrett has a come-forward, aggressive style. And again, Lara is a very, very slick boxer who understands the sport and brings to us a tremendous amount of experience. So those two contrasting styles, when they clash on Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good fight. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Erislandy Lara. He's a WBA junior middleweight champion of the world.
Buenas tardes a todos. Thank you, Showtime. Thank you, Steven Espinosa, Mobile Promotion. Tú que hablas español, díselo a él. Que todos ellos no van a subir con él conmigo en el ring, va a subir él solo. Va a ser el próximo Chucky, de la película, la tercera parte. Va a ser él. Lo voy a figurar la cara. ¿Estamos listos? Estamos listos para April 7. Estamos ready.
He said first off he wants to thank Showtime, wants to thank Al Heyman, Steven Espinosa, Mayweather Promotions, TGB, everyone involved. And he says all those guys yelling and talking out there, you're not getting in the ring with them. So come Saturday night, it's gonna be the third version of Chucky. He's gonna leave his face all tore up. So just get ready, because it's gonna be a lot of punishment. And this is your first big fight, so you gotta calm down. You've never been in a big fight. You ain't never been and he ain't never been in a big fight. You never been in a big fight, and he never been in a big fight. So we gonna find out what you got Saturday night. You all talk. That's all you are. Never been in a fight. We gonna put you to work. We gonna put you to work. We gonna put you to work. We're gonna put you to work. Put you to work.
Tomorrow night's undercard action will be a live stream from Mayweather Promotions Facebook at facebook.com, Mayweather Promotions. We also have a couple of our young fighters who also will be on the card. We have Xavier Martinez and also Ahmed Mahmoud. Mayweather Promotions Rising Stars will also be on the card. It's my pleasure to now turn today's press conference over to none other than Showtime's Brian Custer, a guy who I consider as a friend, a guy who's always a professional, well-spoken, and one of the best in the business. So without further ado, none other than Brian Custer.
Leonard, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. So you guys did a great job, Mayweather Promotions, in promoting this fight. Folks, Saturday night is going to be a great night for boxing. You know, there's a lot of networks and a lot of people who say they want to bring you the best fights, but at Showtime, it's reality. The best fight the best. And that's exactly what we have coming Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern. That is 7 o'clock Pacific time, and it is going to be one hell of a night. We begin the night with a very important fight because it's a title eliminator. The winner of this fight becomes basically the mandatory for Swift Jarrett Hurd. So let's start off and talk to the fighters. Nathaniel Gallimore, out of Chicago. One of the things, Nathaniel, you've talked about in the build-up for this fight, you said Julian J. Rock Williams, average fighter, hopes he does his chin-ups because he has a weak chin, and I'm going to knock him out. Was that just hype, give the fight some hype, or do you believe any of those statements?
I believe it. That's what's going to happen.
J-Rock, he's been very vocal. Has there been anything that he said that has really annoyed you?
Well, he only had like 100 followers, so when he was saying these things, I really didn't see none of the stuff he was saying. So to answer your question, no, I didn't really pay no mind. I didn't really see anything, you know. So he's a nobody. He just wanted some attention, but he gonna get some Saturday night.
Nathaniel, you've talked about that this 2018 is going to be, you said, your breakout year. What about this fight? Do you see this as your breakout fight, putting you on the national stage, and what message are you trying to send Saturday night?
First of all, no, this is not a popularity contest, okay? So don't worry about my followers. Okay, just worry about what's going to happen to you Saturday night. I'm going to tear you apart. Bloody. It's going to be bloody, nasty. And this fight going to set me above all. This fight going to tell who I am in this division, starting with Jay Pebbles.
Julian, how anxious are you, number one, to get another shot at the world title? I think number two, to prove that you have that championship pedigree.
Well, right now I'm not so much anxious to get in the ring. I'm more so calm and just waiting, you know, to show what I got. You know, I know that I'm a world championship caliber fighter. You know, I just, you know, got to get in there and do my thing. You know, so I'm pretty much, you know, I'm being patient. I'm not really so much anxious.
Nathaniel, what are you hoping, because you'll get national exposure with this fight, what are you hoping that people take away from your fighting style once they see you take on J-Rock?
Everything. You know, I'm not hoping that's going to happen. You know, it's going to be a spectacular fight in a spectacular fashion. You know, I'm going to demolish him. I'm going to break him down limb by limb, piece by piece. I'm going to tear him apart. He never faced no one like me before. He worrying about Charlo hitting hard? Wait till I touch his chin. I told him, I gave him the blueprint about them chin push-ups. And later on tonight, when you go to your hotel, bring your guys, and they're going to help you. And get on the floor and start doing your chin push-ups, because you're going to need that. When I touch you, it's over.
We'll wrap it up with this, J-Rock. We've already heard from Nathaniel on how he says the fight's going to go. Give me your prediction. How do you see Saturday night?
He's going to lose every single round and probably get stopped late. Every fight, somebody pushing past 6 rounds. He's got a draw, a loss, or he's getting knocked down. Wow. That's a fact. I only speak in facts. That's a fact. So just tune in. Deep water drowning.
And again, it is the IBF title eliminator. Then we go to our co-main. And this is a rematch for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship of the World. This was 2017's upset of the year. Caleb Truax and James DeGale. James, good to have you back stateside. Listen, you've already talked about, you've been very public how embarrassed you were in your performance. How much, when you look at that loss, do you contribute it to yourself? How much do you contribute to what Caleb Truax did to you?
I say 90% of that was myself, if I'm being honest. I looked past him. I was like a weak kitten in there. I wasn't fit. I wasn't strong. And my shoulder, I had reconstructed surgery. And I come back too quick. But listen, he had to get in there and do it, and he done it, and he become world champion. But I promise you, on Saturday night, I become a 2-time world champion. This is no disrespect to him, but I boxed the very, very best in my division and come out on top. So for me to box Caleb and lose, but listen, I took him lightly. I don't want to make excuses. Best of luck to him, but the real JD's going to be back on Saturday.
Caleb, champ, you heard James. He said he underestimated you the first time. You said you think he's underestimating you again. Do you think a victory for the second time over James DeGale will give you that respect that you deserve?
I hope so. I just want to go out and silence people who say it was a fluke the first time, and just go out there and prove that I belong at the top of the division, and just go out there and put on a good show for the fans and retain my belt.
James, you were quoted as saying, if you lose this fight, that you would retire. Is that hyperbole? How important is this fight to you in your career?
I'm 99% sure if I lose to Caleb Truax, I will retire, because I boxed at the very, very top for the whole of my life, and I'm putting some good performances as well. But if I lose to Caleb, he ain't boxed at any kind of level that I boxed at. And it's just very frustrating, very annoying. But I know what was wrong with me, and I know why I performed like that. So I won't be retiring because I'm going to be a 2-time world champion.
Caleb, you talked about how that was one of your best performances when you fought James. How do you improve upon that performance? Because there's some great fights ahead for the winner of this fight. You look at David Benavidez, especially at 168. How do you improve upon what you did the first time?
I had a great camp this time. The previous fight, I only had about 6 weeks to train, and after this fight, we knew we were going to do a rematch with him straight away. So I was right back in the gym, I think a couple weeks after the original fight in December, and had a really drawn-out strength and conditioning plan. My trainer, Tom Halstead, really put together a good plan of what I can do better in this fight and what he thinks DeGale will offer new in this fight. So I'll be ready for any new wrinkles that he throws, and I'll be ready for him at 100%. And like I said before, I'll be ready for him with 6 good arms.
Got to give me a prediction.
Prediction? I'm not too big into predictions, but I'm just going to go out there and do my thing, and I expect a more telling performance than the last time.
James, got to get a prediction from you. I was reading something, and a number of writers said maybe he's already hit his ceiling. Maybe he's been through too many wars. What should we expect, and what do you expect is going to happen Saturday?
A dominant performance. It has to be. If I don't beat Truax and beat him well, people ain't going to take me serious again. So a dominant performance. I'm pretty sure that's coming. I know that's coming. I've trained extremely hard, injury-free, and before my injury was fixed, but it wasn't healed. I reconstructed surgery to my shoulder. It was mash up. But no excuses. I'm a 2-time world champion on Saturday.
All right. Now we get to the main event. And there's nothing like, especially in this sport, a unification fight. There's nothing like when you have 2 champions really in their primes, and that's what you have Saturday night here in Las Vegas in Erislandy Lara and Swift Jarrett Hurd. Let me start with the champion. Well, they're both champions. So let me start with you, Jarrett. there are not many guys who call out Erislandy Lara. There's not many guys who want to get in the ring with him because of his skill. But after you won against Trout, you wanted this fight and did call him out. Why?
Well, like you said, Lars has been the longest reigning champion, and he was on top, you know, back when I first was turning professional. And we've been studying this guy a lot, you know. And at the end of the day, I didn't get into this sport to be a number 3. I want to come for that number 1 spot. And right now, Erislandy Lara is the number 1 guy in my weight class. And, you know, Saturday night, that will be me.
Louis DeCubis will do the translation for me with Erislandy. Erislandy, longest reigning titleist at 154 pounds. Not many guys have wanted to call you out, but recently you've had Jarrett, you've even had your former training partner, Jermell Charlo, have called you out as if to say now's the time that he's probably the most vulnerable. What's your message?
No, le doy el crédito a él por pelear conmigo, ya que se me ha hecho muy difícil tener los oponentes.
He says, first off, he's got to give him credit for accepting the fight. As you know, it's been very hard to get people to get in the ring with him.
Y ya, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Ya estamos listos ya. No hay tiempo de estar hablando tanto. Ya nos vemos el sábado 7.
He says, yeah, just gonna ain't much more to talk about. We see each other Saturdays. No need to talk now. It's time to fight.
Jarrett, Erislandy is a fighter that makes his opponents really look awful. Southpaw, he's crafty, he's got movement, he has precise punching. What gives you your biggest confidence against Erislandy Lara?
Yeah, that definitely, the storm is definitely coming. But, you know, Lara, he's a guy that, you know, can't take pressure fighters well. And, you know, I got some of the best pressure in the game. I'm younger, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm taller, I'm longer, you know. So at the end of the day, he's not going to be able to run for 12 rounds. So, Lara, no quarters match.
Erislandy, you said you like it when big fighters come at you and pressure you. You said you like that kind of fight. ¿Por qué?
Todos me conocen ya. He peleado con los mejores boxeadores, incluso mejor que él. Paul Williams. He peleado con diferentes tipos de boxeadores, incluso más altos que él, mejores que él, con más potencia que él, y lo he dominado bien.
He says, well, everyone knows I love that style. I fought it, you know, obviously everyone knows I fought in the best fighters. I fought in better fighters than him, you know, taller fighters than him. And you've seen me dominate them. So it's going to be nothing different on Saturday night.
All right, Jarrett, you heard that? You look at it, a 7-fight knockout streak going here. 9 out of 10. This guy hasn't been knocked down in 5 years. Do you believe Saturday night you will be the second guy that can put him on the canvas?
Listen, man, with my pressure and my power, anybody in the division can get stopped, including Lara.
Erislandy, your response to that?
Eso es lo que quiero, que venga.
That's exactly what I want. Come. That's exactly what he wants.
I'm going to be there 12 rounds.
Last but not least, this is a unification fight. Guy named Jermell Charlo says he has been fiending to fight the winner of this. If you're victorious, Jarrett, do you see yourself in another unification fight right after this?
Most definitely, man. You know, most importantly, we want to focus on Lara. But the fight with Jermell Charlo, as you can see, I feel like Lara's a much tougher fight than Jermell Charlo. So at the end of the day, I'd be more than happy to have that fight. And, you know, but we got to focus on Lara and get past through him first.
And lastly, Erislandy, same question to you. You and Jermell were training partners. At one time, you guys said that you would never fight each other. Now it seems like you guys can't wait to get in the ring with one another. If you're victorious, you fight him.
no me hablen más de ellos, Bechal. Estoy enfocado ahora en Hard. Después de que terminemos el sábado 7, la victoria, que firme contrato y estamos peleando.
He says he don't want no one else to talk to him about Jermell Charlo. His main focus is on Jarrett Hurd, who stepped up. And after Saturday night, on Sunday, Jermell Charlo could sign the contract and let's get ready to rumble.
Folks, it all comes your way Saturday night, Showtime Championship Boxing. You turn things back over to Leonard, and we're going to face off our fighters.
Who y'all want to do first? Hey, 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 hey. The focus is Saturday night. The focus is Saturday night. We can deal with all that later. This is a terrific co-feature that we have. A terrific co-feature. The two guys got to focus on what they got in front of them Saturday night, and this is a great matchup, ladies and gentlemen. A great matchup. And then in the opening bout, we have Julian J. Rock Williams taking on Nathaniel Gallimore. And again, come Saturday night, it'll only be those two guys in the ring, and they'll get a chance to settle it. This is going to be a great fight. Okay. We go. Good. Good stuff. Good. Will Nathaniel's talk be able to back it up come Saturday night? Or will Julian silence all that and prove to the world that he's one of the top 154 pounders in the world? The winner of this fight is right there to contend for the IBF